of SoPA, and I'm joined by Sheila Gold, who oversees recruitment and admissions, and then our colleague Ann Conlon, who's running the slides for us. And we have a short presentation for you today to tell you more about the school and our undergraduate degrees and certificates and what kind of place we are. But actually, oh no, she's back to connecting to audio. You know, Anne, maybe you want to message her and give her a call-in number.
It looks like she's connected now.
She's back on. Nikisha, are you able to hear us? All right, we'll see. Okay, so well, just given that it's a really small group, Brenda, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us, I don't know, tell us what you're interested in, because then that we can talk about that.
Okay, sure. My name's Brenda Sillinger, and I have just finished up 2 years of experience with accounting, mostly accounts payable, and I live in Covington, and my job has been transferred to Houston. The accounting department was transferred to Houston, so I've got some really good experience, and I have a college degree, but it's not in accounting. So I'm trying to see how I can fast track some accounting courses and get something to add to my resume.
Okay, that's great. So, so you'd be interested in the certificate program in that area? That's great. All right. So your job's moving to Houston and you're not. Right. Okay. Well, sorry about that. But we're glad that you're considering us. And Nikisha, if you are able to hear us and talk to us, we'd love to hear about what you're interested in too. But I'll go ahead and just go through our presentation again, and then we can talk more specifically about what you're interested in, Brenda. So, so this is a school within Tulane that is pretty much exclusively focused on adult students and people who come in with many times college experience, but even if not that, then work experience in the military. It's you know, generally a school where people are not coming directly from high school. And we always like to say that there's a long history of supporting working adults and offering applied programs at Tulane. And so it's long been a friendly place for folks who are well along in their careers, and the school orientation is very much in that direction. And many of us, including me, have juggled work and family and school all at the same time successfully. So we very much have an orientation toward that. All right, in the next slide, you know, these are the areas that we're gonna cover quickly in the presentation. We'll talk about online, which is a big focus of ours, and we actually have students across the United States and even overseas who are in certificate and degree programs of various kinds, and most of our instruction actually is online, although we also have a lot of classes in New Orleans. We'll touch on our programs and faculty. We won't go into a lot of detail. And there actually are program-specific webinars. So we won't be able to talk in depth about the accounting certificate today, but you know, we can give you, it's really more about giving you a little bit of a sense of the school. We'll touch on student support, which is really academic advisement and career advisement, and of course our tuition structure and the fact that it's all part of Tulane. Okay, so the way that because it's likely that a good portion of your courses would be online, we have an approach to online instruction at SoPA that is, we feel like it sort of maximizes the value of online education, where there's a lot of flexibility. Most of the work is done on your own time, but there's also a lot of interaction. And so it could be through online discussions, but it could also be through monthly meetings with your faculty member and other students. It could be through group projects or peer reviews of other students' work. And so we figure out ways to build community within the online in the online environment. And in the next slide, we just give a few data points about I don't know, that speak to how we know what we're doing. And this is especially important right now, where a year and a half ago, every single university in the United States went entirely online, pretty much. And so there's a lot more experience with it. That doesn't necessarily mean there's a lot more expertise with it. So we feel pretty good about our level of expertise, and it's about scale. It's about the programs that we offer, and then also about the ways in which we have independent bodies that certify that we know what we're doing through rankings and so forth. All right. This is a list of the bachelor's degrees that we offer. And in every single case, we are able to support students who are completing bachelor's degrees online. And we're always looking at new areas of study, actually. The next page has a list of our certificate programs. So the post-baccalaureate ones mean that you need to have completed a bachelor's degree. The professional certificates, the students have, in some cases, completed bachelor's degrees and in some cases not. I will say about the accounting fundamentals certificate in particular, that it was developed in collaboration between SoPA faculty and faculty from the business school at Tulane. And it is designed for people who do exactly the kind of work that you talked about, Brenda. Whereas in the business school, it's more about people who are looking for really high-level certifications. And in accountancy, ours is more about bookkeeping, small business support and development. It's more of a sort of well-rounded generalist curriculum, if that makes sense. All right, so those are their certificates. And then we have a quick slide about our faculty. So we have a mix of full-time faculty. Actually, 2 of them are on the right side of the screen, and adjunct faculty. In every case, pretty much, the faculty are coming from industry, and so have really deep experience in the field. And they teach in our school because they love to share their knowledge with adult students. And they bring their knowledge as well as their professional networks into the classroom or into the class online, and are incredibly dedicated and mission driven, as we all are in this school, again, to supporting adult students in particular. Hello, nice to see you, Nikisha. And in the next slide, like I said at the beginning, we are really proud of the support we provide to students in 2 big areas. The first is academic advisement. So every single student in the school has a highly experienced academic advisor who can work with you to figure out what courses to take when, how to balance your coursework with all of your other obligations. And if something comes up, a challenge, which happens, illness or a job change or a hurricane perhaps, can work with you to figure out a path forward so that you can stay on track toward your academic goal. We always say that we never compromise on the quality of the education and on its rigor, but we are tremendously flexible about, managing the work and helping people figure out, again, how to strike that balance. And that, again, comes from the fact that it's part of the mission of the school, and it's part of our background and our experience. Like I said, in many cases, having done it ourselves. We also have a dedicated career advisor who both does sort of workshops and offers opportunities for interaction with employers, but can also help you on an individual basis to develop your LinkedIn profile or to sharpen your resume for a particular job interview or whatever the case might be. And because her experience is in working with adult students who are trying to figure out how to translate their career story for their next opportunity, it's very different from what most institutions offer, where students are typically early career. That's not the case for us. And then, of course, we always want to say that you become a permanent part of the Tulane community. And so that means that you have access to those resources and those networks for the rest of your career. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about really quickly is an area called credit for prior learning or life experience or work experience. And we have various methods, sometimes through partnerships with organizations, sometimes through formal arrangements for transferring credit, let's say, for example, from a military transcript where you went through a training and you have a transcript, and so we can offer you elective credit. But we also have a process called portfolio development, where our faculty can work with you to document your experience, match it up to the learning objectives in specific courses, and then your portfolio gets graded, and you can earn up to 24 credits toward a bachelor's degree for the portfolio. And in general, toward a bachelor's degree, you can transfer in up to 60 credits, and in a certificate program, up to 6 credits. Although I can't say that specifically about the accounting certificate. We would work with you to figure out, we don't want you to be taking courses and things you already know really well. So we would figure out what would be the right arrangement for you. All right, and with that, I'll hand things over to Sheila to talk more about the nuts and bolts of application and admission and all that.
Thanks, Suri, and welcome again to everybody. So just a little bit of information about how to apply and some tuition information, because I know that that's always important to people. So for undergraduate programs at Tulane SoPA, we're priced differently than the rest of the university intentionally. We know that our students are balancing work, life, other commitments, most of which are financial. Our tuition is $576 per credit hour, and our classes are 3 credit hours per class. Even though that is significantly lower than other parts of the university, that doesn't mean that it's not an investment. And so our students do look to have some sort of financial aid support. The types of support that we offer are federal grants and loans. You have to apply for those by filling out the FAFSA form, which I always tell students, when you start your application, also start the FAFSA form. But we are also a military-friendly school. We're very proudly a yellow ribbon school. And so we do offer 20% discounts for active duty military, as well as some other groups, K through 12 teachers and New Orleans Parish employees. Also, Suri had talked about on the previous slide, our credit for life experience, that is also another way that students can save not only tuition, but also time towards degree. So we do consider that part of our affordability. There's no reason to take classes and pay for tuition for information that you already know and experience that you already have. A little bit about our application process. We try to make our application as simple as possible, as transparent as possible. However, there's always questions that pop up. And please know that we're available to answer any questions that you have. We actually like it when students reach out to us during the application process. We consider the application process the beginning of our relationship building with our students. We like having relationships with our students. We find that that's a differentiator between us and other schools, the relationships that you get to build. So please ask. But with that said, we also don't want to make the application process incredibly difficult. We have an online application. It lives through our website. If you go to sopa.tulane.edu, that address is at the bottom of this screen. You'll see a button at the top of the webpage that says apply. That will open you up to the application portal. You can start your account there. You'll need to complete the application. We're going to need several pieces of materials from you. The first is a clear image of a government ID. For most students, that means taking a picture on your phone of either your driver's license or passport and just uploading that image. We will need transcripts from any schools from which you have received college credit, if you have some college credit. And if you have no college credit and you're applying to us with just a high school degree, we'll need your high school transcript as well. There is a $40 application fee, but as a thank you to you all for attending today, we have captured your attendance. And so that will be waived. So we do know that you're in the middle of your day, what most likely is a busy day. And so we say thank you to you for taking some time to hear about our programs. We do have several application deadlines. We have a start every semester. So we have the traditional fall start. Our upcoming semester is our spring semester. That will be our January semester. And then we also have a summer start. So for those of you who are interested in starting in spring, our application deadline is January 1. If you're looking forward to summer start, that's a May 1 deadline. And if you are interested in starting in the fall, that's an August 1 deadline. We do offer early enrollment scholarships to students, and if you register for classes by these dates, it's a guaranteed $200 scholarship off your first semester's tuition. This is our way of encouraging students to apply early and register for classes early. We read applications on a rolling basis. So once you get your application into us and completed, we will review it and give you an admissions decision, hopefully in enough time so that you can take advantage of our early enrollment scholarship. Our upcoming deadline is December 1st for the spring semester, April 25th for summer, and June 1 for fall. So if you'd like to start with us in January, go ahead and get that application in. You can get admitted, accept your offer, and register by December 1st. All right. Any questions that Surya and I can answer for you at this point? My contact information is on the screen. Feel free to reach out, but we also have a few minutes now if you'd like to drop your question in the chat or just take yourself off of mute.
Does the certificate, the accounting certificate or program, are all of those courses going to go towards an accounting degree?
So they don't. We don't offer a bachelor's in accounting. We're actually working on a bachelor's in business that's again more general. Which we don't yet offer, but I don't see us having a bachelor's in accounting at any point because the business school already has one. Right, if that makes sense. And so,
classes don't go towards that accounting degree.
That's right. That's right. Because it's a different school and and it's a different purpose, right? Like I said, the accounting courses that we teach are more generalist, and they're not preparing you for the accounting licensing exam, which is really the focus of the bachelor's in the business school, if that makes sense.
It does. Are the classes, are they considered basic accounting classes or more, you said they're more generalized, they're more
Yeah,
focused
so
for the
they're-
actual workplace?
They're very applied, and they're basic, but I don't want to say more because actually that's really a question for the faculty. I know how to talk about it as a general area, and I was a little bit involved when the curriculum was developed, but I have no expertise whatsoever. And so we'd be happy to follow up and connect you with the faculty member who directs that area. Her name is Robin Ice. And but we'd be happy to connect you to her if that would be helpful to get a better sense of the curriculum. So we can go ahead and do that. Great. All right. Any other questions or any questions from Nikisha?
Hi, I'm sorry, my phone was all muted up. If I were to get a certificate and then down the line decide that, hey, I want to get a business degree, is that an option as well?
Well, so at this point, we can't really say because we don't have the business bachelor's yet. We're working on a plan where we'll have it about a year from now.
And I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I mean that you guys do have a business program, right?
We do have a business program, and we're developing it into a bachelor's degree. Again, working with the business school. So if our plan goes forward as we expect it will, then yes, the certificate program courses will count toward the bachelor's degree. But we can't 100% make that commitment to you. We're sitting here today because we don't have it in place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And then the human resource, their certificate program.
Right.
What could I actually do with that? Is it just?
So the HR program is developed to the SHRM standards, right? The Society for Human Resources Management, which is like the industry standard in that field. And so it meets SHRM standards. And actually, but it is a standalone certificate, and we also expect or plan at some point to have a bachelor's degree in HR, which we don't yet have. But for now, the curriculum, it's the industry standard curriculum that qualifies you for that certification.
Okay. And do you know if it has always been a certificate, or was it an actual degree program at one point?
So at one point we had associate degree programs, which we phased out in favor of focusing at the bachelor's level.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because I was into that, and I had a baby, and I was working, and then I just kind of I love the program because it actually helps me, but with everything that was going on, I had to kind of leave it alone. And at one point, it actually was an associate.
That's right.
So when I went back to try to get back into school, I was like I was confused because I didn't see it again,
Right.
and so okay, at one point it was an actual degree.
It was an associate degree, and yeah. So let us follow up with you, and I think actually maybe we're going to put you in touch with the same faculty member, and we would love to have you back as a student. And we totally get the thing about life interruptions. It makes a lot of sense. So we'll follow up with both of you. And I don't know, it's really nice to meet you.
You too.
And
Thank you guys.
you're both great examples of perfect SoPA students, right? In terms of where you're at in your careers and your lives. So
Thank you.
great.
And I guess whenever I talk to the faculty that's over that program, I would love to speak with them. I'm definitely gonna start. I did the application. I've done everything that I needed to do, but like I said, by me being out of school for a while, I have to kind of brush back up. And I'm definitely thinking about doing, not thinking, but I'm gonna do, I'm opening up some businesses. So I'm thinking that the business part will probably be better for me, but I definitely wanna finish that human resource, what I started. So I would like to have that under my belt as well.
Fabulous. That's great.
So,
All right. Well, we look forward to spending more time with both of you. Thanks for coming today. Nice to meet you.
And what's your name again, ma'am?
Surrey, Deitch.
Miss
Yeah.
Surrey, okay.
And but you're gonna get an email from my colleague Sheila, who's also on, and you're gonna have her information too. And like she said, we're totally available.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.